Good morning. Hi, everybody. Um, this is Catherine. If you're a replay viewer, thanks for joining. We're talking about a couple of things. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly. My name is Catherine. Like I said, I blogged at Yoked. The website is beingyoked.com, where I'm talking to our younger generation about different ways to have relationships based on Christian principles. So I just wanted to get on really quickly. I've been up for a while getting some things done around the house, but I'm getting ready to really dive into my day. So I wanted to jump on here. Good morning. Jump on here and get some things done before I actually really get into what I've got to get done today. So, first of all, I wanted to issue an apology. I came on about a week ago and said that I was going to scope every single day, and I did not do that. Last week was graduation week for a lot of our kids here in Memphis, and I had 4 teenagers that graduated last week. 3 of them were from our church, so we had a lot of stuff going on. In addition to this blog, I also run a DIY blog, and I'm a cookie artist. So I do a lot of decorated cookies. And last week I was really swamped with orders, so I was, really tired and exhausted and just did not have the energy to, get on here and talk beyond everything else that was going on with me last week. So I do apologize thank you so much for the hearts. I do apologize for not getting on here and checking in with you guys. I felt really bad about that. And before I got on this scope, I actually watched my friend Amira Martin. I was scrolling through my Periscope feed to see what I had actually missed last week, and she did a scope about giving ourselves grace, which is what I really needed to hear that today, because I felt so bad for not being on here and not sticking to the commitment that I had made. So yeah, I was tired. I just couldn't do it. It wouldn't have benefited me or you for me to get on here last week in scope, because I wouldn't have been talking about anything. So I apologize for that, and I'm definitely going to try to do better. The confession part, I got on and I said that I was going to scope about the daily devotionals, the book that I had, and okay, here's the confession. I love the author of that book, Joyce Meyer. I love her. But the way that book was written was really hard for me to. Oh, yeah, I love that quote. And God won't take you where his grace won't keep you. That is completely true. And I think that a lot of times we forget that and we try to do everything on our own. And I will confess that, in my chaos of last week, I was not spending enough time with God, and I was not spending enough time doing devotionals and praying. It was just kind of like I get up and I do everything that I have to do and I go to bed, and I did that everything every day for a week. And I could really feel it in my spirit. That's what was going on, that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing as a Christian. So yeah, I'm trying to extend myself a little bit of grace and get back on track. So thank you for sharing that, Mike. I appreciate it. So yeah, that devotional that I was doing, it was really, really hard to, I could read it and apply it for myself, but it was really hard to translate it for you. And so I got really bored with it. And that was like another excuse that I was using to not get on here and scope, because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so incredibly boring. I can't do this. So I just kind of put the book down and I didn't come on. And it's not that I don't have things to say myself. I'm just not that kind of person that talks all the time. So that's a challenge for me, because I know that there are things that are put on my heart that I need to share, and I just have to find the courage and energy all the time to actually do that. So I've kind of put that devotional down. I went and my husband is in grad school. He attends Freed-Hardeman University, which is a Christian college, and he's getting his master's degree in family and marital counseling. So we went up to the school. I had to get some things done, and I went over into the women's studies section and kind of lost my mind and went over there and bought all of these different books, because I'm big on self-help books, because just like I get on here and want to talk to everybody else, I'm still working on myself. I'm a human, I'm flawed. I have a lot of issues that I need to work on for myself. So I'm not ashamed that I have, things that I need to work on. So I went over in the self-help section and I bought a bunch of books. One of them was about, you know, being a good teacher for women. One was another like women's study about, how to be your sister's keeper and take care of each other. The book that I got, like the first one that I'm actually going to start reading today once I finish this scope, it's called Seasoning Your Words. So this is the book that I got, if you can see that, by Nancy Eichman. I love to talk to people, and my biggest flaw is that a lot of times I always want to be that friend that I'll tell you exactly what you need. I'll tell you the truth, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you so much, because I don't, and this is what I'm working on, is that I don't feel like, coddling a person will, help them in their struggles. Yes, Mike, what's your question? Go ahead and ask me that. So I tell people, what they need to hear in hopes that it will actually help them grow, because we deal with so many different things and deal with so many different struggles that we sometimes have a hard time getting out of our sin and getting out of our own ways to allow for the grace of God to, work in our lives. So I always tell people what they need to hear. My struggle has been, kind of telling people what they need to hear in a way that is helpful, not intentionally hurting somebody's feelings, but telling them the truth. So, yeah, that is, and it is normal. Believe it or not, I'm a very serious introvert. A lot of people don't think that about me. But like I'll answer that in just a second, Mike. I can go up to anybody pretty much and just start a conversation. Like my mom, I never meet a stranger. It's very easy for me to talk to people one-on-one. It's very easy for me to actually evangelize to people. My issue comes with, standing in front of a crowd and talking to them. That's where all of my anxiety comes from. That's where my fear comes from, is, people paying attention to me, which, it's kind of weird that I'm on here, but, I feel like I'm talking to you one-on-one, so I'm okay with that. Mike, as far as, oh my gosh, Nisi, yes. Don't hop off of here. I'm going to make sure I give you my email address. Actually, you can email me at Catherine@beingyoked.com. My name is KATHERINE @beingyoked.com, YOKED. Email me your question. You can find me on Facebook, and you can email me there as well. And if you have a question, just go ahead and contact me there. Mike, as far as overcoming your shyness, I think you have to figure out, I guess, what triggers your shyness. A lot of people can't just talk to folks. Like my husband, he's the extrovert in our relationship, but when he first meets people, he doesn't really talk to them a lot. He kind of stands back and observes. He's an observer. I just kind of jump straight into the conversation. But as far as you, figure out what it is that makes you hesitant to talk to people. With me, it's always been a little bit of rejection. Like, I'm afraid if I talk to people that they'll reject me. And one thing I had to learn, especially with doing evangelism, I talk to people about Jesus all the time. And I had to realize that when I'm talking to people about Jesus, and if they say, no, thank you, they're not rejecting me personally. They're rejecting, the gospel message, which I can't force anybody to listen to the gospel. I can't force anybody to accept the gospel. This is what I believe, and I share what I believe. So, when you're trying to, rejection of people live different ways than I was raised. Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, that's one of the blessings about, I think one of the big blessings about being in America, you meet so many people. My dad was in the Navy, so we got to travel the world and meet different people and being immersed in different cultures. So, it's very easy for me to connect with people on different levels because I'm very open to learning about a person's culture. I'm very open to learning about another person's religion, another person's belief. And the biggest thing, that I have to, the biggest thing that I've had to realize is that just because someone is different from you doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship with them. I think the world would be very boring if everybody was like me. Like, I would get bored. It's very exciting to meet new people and to learn from other people. So don't be afraid to talk to somebody because they look differently than you do, because they believe differently than you do. It's really okay, to have those relationships. And I believe that being in relationships with different people actually helps you grow. Nisi, I saw your comment about working on self-esteem. And this is something that I've shared it on my blog, and I, share it with people, anybody who asks, and it's not something that I'm ashamed of anymore. When I was probably in my early 20s, I was in a relationship, and that relationship, the guy was emotionally abusive. So it took a really long time for me to find my own self-worth again. It's not something that was an easy journey. I really had to fight for it. I put myself in counseling for a year because I knew that I needed to be a healthier person if I wanted to move forward in my life and, be the person that God would have me to be. I had to get over myself, basically. Because when you are in those types of a relationship, whether it's an a romantic relationship or a friendship, if you are in an emotionally abusive relationship, it takes a toll on your self-esteem. It really puts a lot of doubt in your mind and in your heart about who God created you to be and the potential that you have in Him. So I saw your comment. I understand where you are, and I know where you can go. He had a bad drinking problem, yeah. The guy that I was in a relationship with, he had a lot of self-esteem issues himself, so he took it out on me. And I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound a little nasally. It's, the weather is changing here in Memphis, and I'm really sensitive to weather changes, so my sinuses are all clogged and everything. So I apologize if I sound like a Muppet character right now. But yeah, and the thing is, I had to learn from being in that relationship that I couldn't fix him. He had issues that he needed to deal with. So while he, had to go deal with those issues, I needed to deal with my own issues. So, but yeah, Nisi, please email me. Make sure that you're following. If you're on your iPhone, you can swipe left and make sure that you follow me so that you get the notifications when we go live. So I'm definitely going to hop back on here. I hope you guys join me again later. Make sure that you get the notifications when I go live. But yeah, so this book, I'm going to be doing my Seasoning Your Words devotional for myself, and I'll definitely get back on here and share some things that I have learned. I've got a post that I'm going to put up, and I might even just scope about it, because I had someone, he said me and my kids were holding him back. Definitely email me, because I have something that I need to say, but I don't want to put everything out here on Periscope, for everybody. But yeah, there's some things that I want to learn. I had somebody actually contact me at like 7:15 this morning and say that they appreciated, what I was saying on the blog because it was helping their marriage. And that meant a lot to me, because I, often wonder, what am I doing? Is anybody listening to what I have to say? But it's my responsibility to just say it and, hope and pray that I'm helping somebody in the process. So I'll definitely get back on here and talk about some things that I'm learning for myself and how to apply that to your life and to your relationship and to your marriage, because like people say, it takes a village to raise a child. I believe that it takes a community to help build strong relationships and strong marriages too. So thanks for joining in. I'm sorry that this ran a little bit long. I had a lot of stuff I had to say apparently. But thanks for joining in. I really hope to see you soon. Make sure that you follow me on Periscope, and you can find me at the blog beingyoked.com, YOKED, beingyoked.com. All right, nice to meet you too, Mike. You guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.